Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a really powerful idea, one that might just completely change how you think about your work, your goals, and even your entire legacy. We're diving into something called Cathedral time and what it really means to play the infinite game.
This whole thing really comes down to one big question. Are you building for the next quarter, or are you building for the next century? So much of our world is screaming at us to focus on the first answer, but today we're going to explore the incredible power of the second one.
And that intense pressure to perform right now, well, that leads us straight into our first big problem, what I like to call the quarterly results trap.
I mean, this feels so familiar, right? It's kind of the hidden reality for a lot of us. In business and politics, even with our own personal goals, we're just wired to measure success in these short, frantic bursts. The quarterly earnings report, the 5-year plan, it's a cycle that demands immediate wins all the time.
This short-term obsession actually has a name, and it's a pretty provocative one too. It's called chronological narcissism.
So, what on earth is chronological narcissism? Well, it's this subtle, often totally unconscious belief that our moment in history is the most important one. It's the assumption that our problems, our tech, our priorities, they're the only ones that really count. It's like we forget about the past and totally ignore the future.
And here's the real kicker. Thinking our time is the only one that matters, it doesn't make us stronger. It actually makes us fragile and incredibly short-sighted. Fragile because our whole sense of success is tied to the very next win, leaving zero room for failure or long-term resilience. We just get stuck putting out today's fires, completely unable to see the slow-burning challenges on the horizon.
But there is a powerful alternative. And this brings us to the core solution, this amazing concept called Cathedral time.
See, here's the secret. True, lasting impact, what you might call real power, it just doesn't operate on our frantic quarterly schedule. It unfolds on a completely different and way grander timescale.
And this is that time scale. Cathedral time is all about thinking, planning, and building in cycles that span 100 years, or even more. It's about consciously working on things that you know will outlive you.
Just take a second and let that number sink in. Over 100 years. In a world of instant notifications and next-day delivery, that scale of thinking is so profoundly countercultural, isn't it? But it's exactly the scale you need for truly transformational work.
And hey, this isn't some abstract pie-in-the-sky idea. Just think about the most enduring things humanity has ever created. The great cathedrals of Europe, the pyramids in Egypt. Heck, even the slow, messy, multi-generational project of building a democracy. These were not quarterly initiatives.
And this is the part that really gets me. These monumental projects were started by people, architects, workers, visionaries, who knew, with absolute certainty, they would be long gone before their work was finished. They were building for a future they would never get to see. And that's the real power of it, right? It's about detaching your own ego from the immediate result to serve something so much bigger.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we make this an actionable mindset? Well, to think in cathedral time, you have to understand you're not playing to win in the short term. You're playing the infinite game.
This comparison just makes it crystal clear. On one side, you've got the finite game. You're obsessed with the quarterly result. But in the infinite game, you're building for the next century. In the finite game, you're stressing about today's weather. In the infinite game, you're planting a tree that's going to provide shade for your great-grandchildren.
This whole mindset is just captured so perfectly in this quote. I am planting trees that will shade my great-grandchildren. That is why I don't stress about today's weather. I'm not building for the next quarter, I'm building for the next century. It's a declaration of purpose on a totally different level.
And really, that's what this all comes down to. The world is going to constantly try to pull you into that finite game, demanding immediate results, short-term wins, but you always have the power to choose to play the infinite game instead.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your cathedral, it doesn't have to be made of stone and glass. It could be your family, a business, a community, a body of work, maybe just an idea that you're passionate about. The real question is, what cathedral are you building?